I would like to announce three presentations that we await. The first one will be by Professor Agnieszka Naumiuk from University of Warsaw. Then we will listen to Olga Hurenko, Natalia Cybuliak, and Olena Staryńska. And then finally, we will listen to Natalia Cumariewa from Donetsk State University. So please, Professor.
Thank you very much. I have a privilege and honor to be here as partner university of APS, University of Warsaw, Faculty of Education. And I'm very glad to show participants some initial findings that we have. We started a very interesting European project called Responsive, which targets at different possibilities or different services that we see as important part of our helping professions. And we decided to do it in consortium of 6 countries, 5 universities, in Innsbruck, in Aalborg, in Nanterre, Warsaw, Lisbon, and in Romania, the European Association of Social Workers. We are trying to build the network of people who care about the change of social services. And so we decided to apply for the European project Horizon, the Future of Democracy and Civic Participation. We were surprised that our plan won. One of the 4 projects that only ours is connected with social services. The others are more connected with policy making. So, and also our program is different because we decided to have qualitative approach, which for us is very important to study experiences of different stakeholders, not to have big data, but to have human address and human feeling of what is happening, what is right, what is wrong, how we together could change, and how people, especially in vulnerable situations, could have more voice and more power and more participation in social services which are meant for them. So decision was to take 4 groups: mental health, disability, child protection, and youth at risk, as a starting point. But we realized after a few months that it is intersectional situation. We cannot divide into 4 groups. In many cases, it is fluid situation. So I'm going to present a few things of the project and also the first findings of perspective of service users. So the main idea, the main question we had was about responsive approach, a responsive thinking, responsive attitude. How responsive are we in our social service offers? So as a group of researchers, as a group of practitioners, we thought that there might be 5 key elements that we can integrate in our research and see and find what is going on there. So first of all, the normative, legal, policy. We heard today about the law, the importance of law in practice context at local, national, and EU levels, because we also understand that services respond to these perspectives. They follow the rules. So how are these documents reflecting responsive possibility of those who will follow them? The second one was the branch inclusivity, operations, and impact of official channels of citizens' input. So far, citizens who are using services, are they included in advisory groups? Do they have consultation possibilities, complaints, evaluation mechanisms? We know that formally, generally it exists, but how it is going to happen in reality? Is it really working or not? Third thing is about goals, the approach, the public opinion, citizens who take actions, who are friends of the cause, but not necessarily involved in full, and what is media saying, what is art production saying. Then what are the social service professionals seeing and what is their experience, what is their role in it. And then the fifth element will be to tailor, to co-design, to think about some innovations that citizens could feel and participate in, could feel it's theirs. It's done together with professionals, citizens, legal authorities, and so on. And what is different according to current situations and current innovations. So we started, and this will be my presentation will touch only the first two. Okay, I put them in green because we have done it, but I must say they should be red, because what we found, it is a lot of gaps. It's a minimum of what we could do. So our target groups in work package 2, so it is about the service user's perspective, are people, mostly young people, and I'll be referring to this group here today, and their experiences of their childhood in situation of need or in situation of special need, with a situation of mental health problems, in situation of being in children's homes, foster care, lots of these things that may happen through someone's life, and what was their experience and how they feel about these experiences, what was happening and how what is real. And we asked them to refer to the past 5 years, so it is not 20 years ago. So it was usually young target group, 17 plus, those who had some possibility and they didn't fear of telling us. So it was very intensive process of empowering people to give the voice. They were afraid, and I will speak about it later. So our methodology was to look for responsiveness in social service field. What are the official documents, reports, policies saying, and what is data from interviews that we had one by one with different people, different informants, through interviews, but also through workshops, through different focus group possibilities, but also we established so-called citizen boards. So we asked service users to help us have proper language, have proper approach, have proper process, and proper data in the end. So we consulted them all over the process. It is participatory, of course. It is important also for us. It was important to learn the situation, because many of us, even if we have connection with services, it is not the situation that we know everything what is going on. So this collaboration, this partnership meant a lot to us. So in short, because I know I don't have so much time, just to gain your maybe attention, more curiosity, what are the findings that we had in the past 6 months, only talking to service users in different places. I'm sorry I cannot refer to my colleagues in other universities, because we are collecting data and we are going to have next, after Easter, we are going to have the seminar about the findings from different countries, so I can refer only to Poland. But what are the findings? I know it's a little bit simplifying, but social services in Poland, based on service users' perspective, are not too responsive. So in general, it is difficult especially for young people who are in institutions, who are under the care, who have different problems, mental health problems, problems with health, to see services that are open to them. They are open to their participation, they are open to see their needs, even if they say they are. But the practice is they have support given top down. They have the support that is the best and is nice, and you take it or leave it. So co-creation and participation in services also in Poland is in the process of learning how to do it. We have some difficulties in participatory approaches in social services. I'm not talking about everything, but with that we have still the struggle. So it is about the citizens' engagement in change of the services. It's not about, you know, the voice, but in change of the services. So empowering laws are still in minimum. So there is more focus in our current situation, I'm still saying, on protection, on care, or market-oriented. So if you pay, you get better service. So there are different strategies that prevent people in need to talk about their needs, to talk about their real situations. And there is many young people were saying that people had no time. There was the shortage of offer. There is shortage of time. There is shortage of staff. So, and they say, frankly speaking, it's better than nothing. So we are glad that we have something. Current perspective, we saw, and even through the conversations with them, that there is imbalanced power relations. Still dominates top-down approach. Vulnerable groups are dependent service users. So they are afraid. They say, if I say something critical, will there be a punishment? Will something happen to me? So they needed a lot of protection and feeling safety. And they understood they were children under care. So others were taking decisions on their situation and protection and participation. So they said that the only goodwill of some professionals and some new roles like social assistants, we discuss it in Poland, so, assistants of healing, were good signs, were stars for that. Three new aspects. One thing, we were flooded with lots of negative experiences. People were saying not only about services, but also about the families from which they were coming. That they had personal crises, they had oppressive institutions, and lack of understanding. Today we heard about loneliness. It's a lonely situation when you have nobody to talk to, when you cannot say, you try to scream yourself. So that's why sometimes they said we had to drink, we had to do something to shout that we are there. So dysfunctional coping strategies, including also social service trauma. We were shocked how much they were traumatized by many institutions they were going through and not getting help. So some good people, but in general, a lot of difficulties, complaints, but these complaints are not heard by the services because, you know, of this power and fear. So current participation is not existent. This fear of stigma, of self-stigmatization, fear of carers, angers, of losing service, of losing, you know, closing down the service, even if we complain. So it's better to have the one that we have. So, and also lack of trust. Many young people were saying it doesn't it doesn't change anything. They won't listen. They are adults. They have their own strategies. And also, it was very interesting that we found out it is not news, but especially in experiences of these young people, it was very difficult to see that there is 18 plus situation of transition gap, that all vulnerable people still in need, but having shouted door when 18th birthday comes. So there is no phone call for service for young children and youth because you are adult. So you need to go to different services, to different place. So they say when they transit this situation, they say, there is no need to give feedback because I'm not any longer a child or young person. I need to struggle with my new battles and new services. So it was very important for us to know that also services for young children and youth are not getting feedback after situation is going further. So, what are the conclusions? And I'm sure that we all may have discussions on different aspects. And of course, these are not all the conclusions. And I would say that at least the sixth one I was thinking when I came to this room. The three of them belong to general conclusions, and three of them are strongly voiced by our informants. The first one that we saw as researchers and also as pedagogues, as people who are interested in change, is that there needs to be dialogue with dependent. How to make this dialogue of a person who doesn't see himself or herself as in the same position. How to, we may say, okay, we have partnership with, but they know it is not true partnership. So how to make these functions of this dialogue, understanding, thinking that we need to adapt to this situation. Also, formal means of inclusion. So, encouragement. It is not, we cannot force people to speak, but in many situations, we hear that, well, people don't care, they don't speak, they don't want to be engaged. It is not true what our youth and our former children said from the institutions. They said they need a lot of encouragement. They need a lot of empowerment, and not in words, in real everyday practice, because they are afraid even to take the phone and call someone. So it is a lot of that. So this is from service users, learning to listen and react. We also need to do in processes that are needed to understand that for the stakeholders' perspective, that maturity and feeling that we need to learn, that we accept feedback accordingly, and both sides, service users and service providers, it is helping all of us. The fourth one is adaptation and sensitivity to different ways of expression and different experiences. It is easy to say, okay, I know 100 of service users. This is the 101, which is completely different. So, and the language, we were talking today about the film, that these people may have different experiences, but may use different language, and we need to understand each other. And more human and less managerial approach, which is connected with empathy, with addressing the needs. So you can see in the downs some expressions of young people who are saying why and how they would like to be treated. What are the elements? And it's not about professionalism, as you can see. It is a lot about listening. It is a lot about understanding. It is a lot about fear that they need to have the platform for sharing, and they need to have time to learn how to share. Thank you very much.
Thank you.